Hello everyone, and welcome to this Ayurveda course. So today I would like to share the first lesson. Now this is a little difficult, a little complicated lesson. This is the basic of Ayurveda. Okay. Now this one is giving you an understanding of the basic philosophy behind Ayurveda, and and as we go on, the next lessons will become easy. This was the most difficult to compile, and most difficult for me to understand also. But once I understood what it entails, um, in every Ayurveda course, this first lesson seems a bit difficult. But once you get a grip of it, like I'm going to try to make it easy as I explain. You don't have to by heart any of this. Just understand, because when we go into the philosophy of each herb and everything, you'll be able to understand how how each herb, whatever we have explained before, how each herb falls in those categories. Okay. All right. So let's begin this lesson. So I made a presentation here, which I'm going to share with all of you in the course. So here we start. Okay, let me share the screen. All right, so here we go. So what is Ayurveda? Okay, so what is Ayurveda? So Ayurveda is the science of life. Okay, so what does it mean? Ayur means life. Ayuhu. Ayuhu means lifespan. And Veda means to know. So it is the science of increasing, improving your lifespan. And this Ayurveda is a Upaveda. So Veda means to know. So the Vedas are a vast category of knowledge. So Veda, everything. And Ayurveda, there is Dhanur Veda. So the Veda means to know, to anything, to know anything. So Vedas included all categories of knowledge, and Vedas were divided into 4. So one of them is the Atharva Veda. So this is a sub-branch of the Atharva Veda. Now, we have to understand that the understanding of the Vedas comes in 6 different philosophies. They are progressive. Okay, I'll do a separate video on the 6 philosophies for those who are interested in philosophy. But the Vaisheshika philosophy is the basis. So there is 6 philosophies. They are called Nyaya, okay, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Karma Mimamsa, and Uttara Mimamsa. Okay, we don't need to go into the details of all that, but I need to explain what is Nyaya and Vaisheshika. So Nyaya is based, so Nyaya, Tarka, so it is based on understanding something by argumentation or understanding something by philosophical means, right? So you understand, so the way you understand things, so there are different types of proof. So in Ayurveda also we use different types of proof. So in Vaisheshika philosophy also we use different types of proof. So the basic proofs that we use is Pratyaksha, I can see it's a blue bird by the blue color, right? Anumana, so there is a smoke, right? I infer there must be a fire. So Anumana, so kind of inference. And then there is the third one is Agama. Agama is scriptural knowledge, right? So Ayurveda, so it believes in all these 3, kinds of proof. And there is also a bhava, there is different things like Abhava. So abhava means a lack of. So when I take some herb, so if I don't feel anything negative, that means it doesn't have a negative effect. However, I may or may not get the positive effect, but at least there is no negative effect. So there is no side effect. So I can take the herb. So Ayurveda has no, so there are so many places where you can, even that is used as a proof. Okay. So Vaisheshika philosophy is based on understanding what we call as Padartha. Pada means an object and Artha means the meaning. So life is based on Artha or meaning. So the goal of Vaisheshika is to understand the creation, is to understand the whole creation, understand the meaning behind it, and eradicate our misery. So that's the whole goal. Because there were herbs not only to cure diseases, but herbs to have children, herbs for spiritual elevation. So all these things are there. For example, Brahmi improves your capacity to understand spiritual things. Ghee improves your understanding of spiritual things. So it has application in the spiritual sphere also. It's not just like some modern medicine where you just try to eradicate a disease, where the doctor is just seeing you as an object. So here everything is understood in its true meaning. Okay, and the goal is not just to heal yourself, but also go into a higher platform of eradicating all types of misery. So there are two kinds of divisions of the knowledge that you attain of an object. So the first is called Ashesha Jnana. Okay, Ashesha Jnana means something which is common, like all Ayurvedic herbs. For example, we have in Ayurveda, we have Kapha, Pitta, Vata. Now, for example, let's say I have cold. Okay. Now for cold, I can use hot water. I can use ginger. I can use cinnamon. I can use cloves. Right. So I can use cardamom, calamus root. So I can licorice. So I can use all different herbs to treat cold. But then each one has a specific effect. For example, if you take too much ginger, all your cold it can make you really weak. Cardamom doesn't make you weak. So you want to select what you want to. So all these are good for cold. So that is called Ashesha Jnana. Okay, I've given some example here. So that is like an example. But then Vishesha Jnana means I take one herb and this is Vishesha. So ginger, it not only reduces cold, but also makes you a little weak, but also improves your digestion. But it reduces kapha. Now cardamom, it purifies the cold, but it also doesn't make you as weak. Right? So that is Vishesha to each. Now here I've given an example. So everyone in Canada is Canadian, but a group of people speak French, right? But they are Canadian. Like all these herbs, so they are all alleviating cold, but then each one has a specific property. So that is called Vishesha Jnana. So when you examine a herb, there is an Ashesha Jnana. Okay, these are all good for cold. But then Vishesha Jnana for each herb, what is the specific property? All right. Now, every object, so Padartha has 6, right? So every object, so knowledge of them includes knowledge of the object. So Dravya means the object. For example, the herb or even mountain. For example, I may even tell you, just go, for example, there was one article that I read where somebody had asthma, right? And he was asked to go sit in a cow shed, Goshala, and smell the cow dung. And that actually helped his asthma. Now, that's why dravya means anything, right? Any object that can heal you. So it's not just herb, but anything, even fresh air, right? You could come to me with a disease and you can say, I have so much, health problems. Then I can just ask, what are you doing? I'm sitting without sunlight, sitting in a room and without sunlight in artificial AC whole day. Okay, go get some fresh air. Step out. If you're watching a computer for hours together, just change the direction which you see. Just look at some further objects. So little things. So even those things can make a difference. The way so dravya means objects on this, any object. Guna means the quality of the object, right? What are these? We will see in detail. So this is Vaisheshika, remember. Then when we go to herbs, so then these qualities are further refined. How do you look at herbs, different types of herbs? So in the further videos, I will explain that. It's going to be very interesting. But I first wanted to start with Vaisheshika philosophy because it's very beautiful. So guna, so how the herb acts. So guna means quality, right? Whether it makes you light, makes you heavy, makes you cold, makes you hot, right? Karma, what is the type of action that it will give you, right? Guna is the quality, what it possesses. Karma, then when it enters you, what action will it give you? That is called karma. Okay. Then samanya, general properties. No, samanya becomes very special because, for example, one who is, it's like you can give the example of an addiction. So addiction, so samanya is somewhat like an addiction. So addiction means for example, I'm addicted to sweets, so I'm too fat. But because I'm fat, I'm kapha. And because I'm fat, but yet because of the digestion problem, because of the fatness, I'm attracted to more of the sweet. So the like attracts like. So that is called samanya. And vishesha, then specific. So specific property. So we have to understand samanya, which attracts like. Vishesha can be the opposite property. For example, if too much fat, I want to lose weight. So then I take the opposite, vishesha. So I have to look for a specific property that will counter this. So we have to understand samanya, vishesha of every herb, the individual property of also the kapha pitta vata, right? For example, if I am too heavy, that means my kapha, right? In that, which kapha, which specific area? Is it just the digestion? There are different subdoshas of the kapha. So we understand the general properties. So then we go for specific properties of the herb, so that you have to deduce logically which one will work. And then samavaya, inherent property. Now don't worry about these names. Okay, we will go through each herb and we will try to understand. Okay, and then certain things are very, very inherent. For example, there is a difference between taking dry ginger and powdered ginger. So dry ginger is too hot. Fresh ginger is very hot, burning, flowing, right? Very flowing. And it has a pungent action. It kind of reduces the cough, right? Now, dry ginger, for example, it doesn't give you a pungent action upfront. Like fresh ginger, when you take the juice, it gives you a pungent action. Whereas dry ginger doesn't give you that pungent action. It's little mild, but both reduce cough. So that is like inherent property, that is reducing cough. But fresh ginger has a different property, dry ginger has a different property. So both are used under different circumstances. So that is called inherent property, is to understand that even if you change the state of the herb or the object, its basic property remains the same. So the basic property is reducing cough for that ginger. But hot ginger has a different property and dry ginger has a different property. Now, we will go through all the 6. Now, dravya. Now, dravya is classified as that which is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. Time is what binds the elements together. The water in the winter becomes snow. That same water in the summer becomes liquid, right? Space and soul and mind. Imagine, in my mind creation can change the property, right? Your mind can change your property. That is why mind is the root cause of many diseases. So within this, all the objects, so they are made within earth, water, fire, air, ether, time, space, mind. And of course, the one which gives life to everything is the soul. So in the Ayurveda, soul is also counted. That is why in the definition of health, there is soul also. So the soul also should be awakened. The soul also should be enlivened by bhakti. So every object within the universe is contained within these elements. So that's how it is. Now, guna, or the quality of a substance, okay? So they are color, taste, smell, the way it feels when you touch, the number, how much it is, its dimension, its individuality of that object, right? Its individuality means it's like its special individual property. Sanyoga, conjunction, right? So what is it connected with? Then vibhaga, then the disjunction. So where it can be connected, where the element doesn't work. For example, somebody who wants to practice asana, right? Now it is said, before you practice asana, to gain the benefit of the asana, you have to get your diet right. You have to follow the previous principles, moral principles. Otherwise, you won't get the benefits. So that is why when you do the asana in conjunction with proper diet and cleansing, so then the asana bears effect. Whereas if you don't do it, whereas in isolation, if you just do asana, then you get a different kind of benefit. I don't follow anything else. So sanyoga, in togetherness, how it works, the vibhaga. So paratva, priority, how critical or important it is. Like, for example, why is ghee? Ghee should be priority in our diet. If you want strong brain, if you want protein intelligence, so then you need mung dal, right? In Ayurveda, the importance. Aparatva, posteriority, how important or unimportant it is. Buddhi, intellect, so how much it influences your intelligence. Then pleasure, how much pleasure does it give? Pain. Then every object also influences desire, aversion, and yours. So the thing is that every object, and not every object may have all the properties. Some may be inert. So then it is judged, however, according to all these different qualities. For example, if I ask you priority wise, what is the number one food in Ayurveda? The number one food in Ayurveda is ghee. The number one herb in Ayurveda is Brahmi, which is universal. The number one powerful herb to rejuvenate your body is Brahmi or Ashwagandha, right? And Rasayana. So if you want the number one Rasayana to improve your bodily strength, so that is Chavanprash, right? So all these things are, you have to understand which is priority, which is not priority. So all this is included in the knowledge of the herbs. So 17 qualities were given by Kanada. So Kanada is the founder of the Vaisheshika philosophy. Then there were several other factors added onto the herbs. So that is gravity, fluidity, sneha means softness, self-productiveness, samskara. So what does it give? So that herb, when you administer with the proper mantra, proper time, proper consciousness. So the Vaidya, the Ayurvedic Vaidya should be conscious. Him giving, sometimes we see if you go to that doctor, his medicine works better. He's giving the same medicine, but his consciousness can influence. So that is samskara. Then Ayurveda, then in Vaisheshika philosophy, there is also adrishta. So disease is a result of bad karma. So there is bad karma and good karma. So very interesting. So this bad karma and good karma, so that also produces the change, and shabda and sound. So the bad karma and good karma also influences. So sometimes in Ayurveda, there is also lifestyle means good karma. Following proper lifestyle, following proper diet is also good karma. Then what does a object, a dravya, so the object in Ayurveda, it induces an action. Okay. So in itself, what does it do? For example, if I drink too much salt water, what happens? I feel like vomiting. It induces vomiting. So similarly, licorice, if I take too much licorice, it induces vomiting. Right? So that is called utpekshana. So the first action is going upward. Vomiting or anything going upward. So connecting, if you see here, there is like an utpekshana. The lower part of the body is connected with this udana vayu. It's like a pressure fit here. Right? So utpekshana. Second is going downward. So the second action, for example, if I take like a saltwater intestinal cleanse, so it cleans up the intestine. So that is called apapekshana, downward. So the third type of action produced by the herbs is also contraction. So in your body, for example, strengthening your muscles, contraction, if it's weak, all that. Dilation, if something is tight, fight. For example, if you take too much sugar, what happens? Your body tightens up. You drink too much Coca-Cola, everything, your body contracts because of the high sugar, your muscles shrink. However, there are some herbs like which can make contraction even for like delivery. Like, so there are certain herbs which help in, and even mudras which help in delivery, which help in the contraction, dilation. Gamana means motion, improve your circulation, all that. So this is the karma action, the different types of action it performs in the body. Now this also relates to, for example, utpekshana also elevating your pressure levels, reducing your pressure levels, right? Balancing. So these different actions. So herbs produce these different actions. Now, this I've already explained, Samanya and Vishesha. So we have to understand for example, if I understand if I come to you and I say, I have a burning sensation in my eyes, right? I have a burning sensation in my eyes, and I have burning sensation all over here. So this is what? This is alochaka pitta. So this is alochaka pitta in the eyes. So then I have to give a herb for that, right? So I have to understand the quality, which is that? Which is that which causes burning? Pitta. So which pitta is present here? So then that is alochaka pitta. So all these subdivisions. So then I give that to change the burning, and I need to give something opposite. So I give manjista, or I give turmeric, or I can even put rose water. So all these things, so we have to understand what is it doing? Burning. So what should I do? Cool it. But then which one should I use? So then I should know the specific dosha. I need to know the specific dosha. So this is how. For that buddhi, you need to understand by logic. Now, just like I explained before, samavaya or the inherence. So in the inherence, every object, like ginger. So ginger in the fresh state and dry state, it has two different properties, but basically both reduce kapha. So that basic kapha reduction, no matter what you do, that will be within the substance. You cannot separate them. So that is like a dharma of the herb. I will share this presentation. So the next important concept in Ayurveda is called as pilupak. So pilupak means in your body, there is transformation of atoms. So when you practice yoga, so there is heat. When you eat, there is digestive heat. So there is a transformation. So what you eat, what you do, what you think, what you watch, it produces a change within you. Now, when this change is sustained, suppose I follow a good diet for a long time. So then what happens? It brings a change. It brings about a complete change because it replaces all the atoms. My diet goes, in Ayurveda, disease also forms in different levels, or even healing is at different levels. First it's at the outer level, then it goes into the inner level. So pilupaka means change at the atomic level. For example, I start taking treatment, then I get some benefit, some benefit, some benefit. Then when the treatment reaches the atomic level, then I get the complete benefit. So when karma, see karma deeds, for example, you can change karma, you can change your stress levels just by thinking positive. For example, I was working in a software company for some time as a trainer, and then my friend, same position as me, he used to get more salary, and I was like, for a month or two, I was like, I'm doing the same thing, but he's getting more. But then I thought, okay, let me just do my work for the sake of working. Let me enjoy. Let me try to get the best of myself and let me enjoy. Let me be happy. When I did that, my salary somehow started increasing and I started being more happy. But taking salary was like, I changed it later on, but just by changing that mind, I became more happier and my health became better. So that's the thing. So nature. So we have to also, when you give herbs, it is not just giving the herb, it is also changing the mindset. Okay, 6 categories to understand creation. So we have to understand that the benefits of this is to understand all these 6 categories, dravya, guna, karma, then the Paramanuvada, Samanya, Vishesha, Samavaya. These are all meant for us to understand the universe better. Now we will go specific to herbs in the next lesson. But the goal is to understand that if we understand all these 6 things, 6 categories, the benefits. Dhatu Samya, you understand the qualities of all the herbs, all the elements that influence you, and then you can make the proper treatment. So that is the philosophy of Vaisheshika, is to understand but you have to understand the divisions by which you understand these herbs, by the guna, by the quality, by the vishesha, by the individual quality. So once you understand these things, so then kinds of herbs administered. So then we have to understand that herbs are basically in 2 types. So one is it increases your bodily elements or reduces your bodily elements. So for example, somebody is fat, so then you reduce his bodily elements. Somebody is very lean, then you give rasayana, you increase. So these are the broad categories. Okay, these are the broad categories. Okay. So that is called samana guna or viruddha guna. Samana means same quality or opposite. For example, if equal qualities or the opposite quality. Somebody is fat, you give opposite quality to make him lean. Somebody is cold, you give the opposite quality. But sometimes you need to give the same thing to maintain a balance. Same kapha. For example, licorice is also kapha. It balances kapha by it's actually kapha herb, but it actually balances kapha. So the same, but it depends on what situation you want to give it. So that is what we will try to understand here. Okay. Okay. Then and then the types of herbs that are given are internal or external after proper analysis. Okay. So we have to understand whether giving that herb will make him lighter, heavier. So all these things, so we have to analyze before giving the herb. So that is very important, because you can give a general herb. For example, we say, when you take even these modern medicines, you say, this medicine, you can take Tylenol, Motrin, this, that, but for you, like, Motrin has this property or Tylenol has this property, something like that. So similarly, herbs, every herb will reduce cough, like I said last time. But then what specific herb will benefit you? So that's what we have to understand. Okay. So Ayurveda, now here it is very important. Now Vaisheshika explains that everything is based on earth, water, fire, air, ether. And Ayurveda then further classifies. Now this earth, water, fire, air, ether combine in different ways, right? So from where do they come? Right? Chetana Dravya, right? Those which are alive, kicking, and those which you can make a decoction, right? Achetana, Sthavara, animal origin, Jangama, plant origin, right? Parthiva, right? From the earth, like within the earth, some mineral or something, Ahara Dravya, food articles, right? So they are basically grains or something. Aushadha Dravya, so they are specifically, medicinal drugs. Jivaniya, drugs which give life. Brumaniya, drugs which make you strong. And Vidarigandhadi, so that which have certain smells and different things. So aromatic, whatever you call. So Ayurveda, then these herbs are divided into based on their origin. Okay, based on their origin. So what is their source and how? So mostly household, they are mostly plant origin, right? But sometimes you may have to, like certain salts, right? Bath salts or Himalayan salts. So they are earth origin, correct? Now, certain nails, teeth, or something of certain animals, or even like ghee, they are animal origin. And you have butter, milk, ghee, right? So that's how you can understand. So food articles, even food, how you can consume it as a medicine. So all these things we have to understand. So treatment. So treatment in Ayurveda, there is nothing called treatment. What we are trying to do is bring the body to equilibrium. So next lesson I'm going to teach is Kapha Pitta Vata. What is Kapha Pitta Vata? So Kapha Pitta Vata should be balanced. So when the Kapha Pitta Vata is balanced, no disease can exist. That's what it says. So when the Kapha Pitta Vata is balanced, so the whole goal of Ayurveda is to bring your body to equilibrium. So it is called Karya, Kriya, Prayatna, Cheshta, Kartavya, right? So there are different types of procedures, Panchakarma, Shad Dvipo Karma, right? Vidho Karma, right? So Ashta Shastra Karma. So all the different karmas, so all these things are there. But all of them, they are to bring your body to balance. So remember that. So your kapha is down, bring the kapha to balance. Pitta is down, bring the pitta to balance. Vata is down, bring. So what is this kapha, pitta, vata? So the next lesson I'm going to explain. So, but the whole goal of is the earth, water, fire, air, ether. Your earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and soul. So this should be in harmony, to bring this harmony, to bring this balance. Your soul should be happy, mind, intelligence. So all these different practices are to bring them to a balance. So when you bring them to a balance, automatically, so where you are lacking or where you are excess, so you bring that down. You are too much indulging in some activity like gaming. You sit for hours, you don't have time for the soul, you don't have time for exercise, you don't have time for good diet. So that is imbalance. So if you have a balanced day-to-day life, so then it becomes important. So that is called karma. So Samavaya, so Ayurveda understands the inherent property. So we have to understand the inherent property, and then when you do, herbs are made into decoctions, herbs are made into rasayana, juices, or lehya, like, paste. But when you change the state of that, the inherent property remains. So you have to understand which way the herb can be administered properly. So you have to understand that aspect. And finally, Ayurveda says that basically we all come with a certain karma. So when you change yourself at the atomic level, so that is at the level of intelligence, buddhi. So meditation also plays a key role, diet plays a key role, and this changes you fundamentally, right? You have a certain mindset because of which we suffer, or which we have already suffered, and that has become a part of our life. So we have to change not just our diet, but also that mindset. So that atomic change even comes from the mind. So karma, adrushta, your luck, you change your luck by proper thinking. All right. So this is the whole and beautiful chapter on the Vaisheshika. So philosophy, which we will use. But you don't need to by heart all this. Just try to understand. It's very special, and you will see how it will work. Okay. Thank you all so much, and wait for the next lesson. So the next lesson will be, one is Kapha Pitta Vata, and the next lesson will be classification of herbs. So I will do all this before Saturday. Thank you.